Talk to me. Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Could I ask everyone to please try to find your seats? Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Because of the nature of the dinner tonight, we're still waiting for some of our guests who are in the building but have not yet come to take their seats. We hopefully will find them as the evening progresses. I'm Dave Ratke. I'm the Executive Vice President of the Eugene V. Debs Foundation, and I want to welcome you. I want to welcome you to the 60th anniversary dinner of the Debs Foundation. We've done this annually since 1965, giving an award to an individual in the tradition of Eugene Victor Debs. And to start the program tonight, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit on the agenda. I'd like to ask John Bryan from the Wabash Valley Central Labor Council to come up and a greeting. And is Todd Nathan here also from the Indianapolis City Council? Todd, why don't you both come up, please? Both of you come up. Thanks. Very good. Very good. Who asked you to come here? That's okay.
Good evening. Glad to see everybody here. I'm John Bryan. I'm a business agent for Ironworkers Local 22, and I'm president of the Wabash Valley Labor Council. And thank you. It's nice to see everybody out here this evening and coming out for this wonderful event. And one of the things I'd like to say, what I do every day, as a business agent, as president of the Labor Council, I'm just a spokesperson for an institution. And my job is to leave it better than I found it. And if we all go out there and everything we do and try to leave it better than we found it, we'll make some good things happen. And so with that being said, keep moving forward here. This is Todd Nation. Welcome to everybody. Welcome to the Debs dinner this evening, and thanks for coming out. It's Mr. Todd Nation.
Thank you very much, John. This is going to go a little bit slower than they probably expect. Indulge me, please. Brothers and sisters, on behalf of Terre Haute's Mayor and City Council, I'm honored to welcome you all to Terre Haute. This is my 20th Debs Awards banquet. As a student of, thank you. As a student of Terre Haute history, I've long understood the nationwide impact that Eugene Victor Debs made on work, organizing, and society. My parents brought me to the 1979 Debs Awards banquet when I was 14 years old, where we sang together, held hands in unity, and recited the Debs Credo. This evening, we'll have an opportunity to do all those same things together, but without Pete Seeger. This afternoon, I had the opportunity to attend the panel discussion on class war and how we fight back at ISU's Cunningham Memorial Library. There were about 100 of us there, and it rattled me. I wept. I wept for my brothers and sisters. I wept for my children. I wept for our democracy and for the country that I love. When I left, I asked myself, what would Eugene Victor Debs do? Although I'm no Debs scholar, I'm pretty sure he would speak up and speak out against authoritarianism. He would organize. He would resist. 1 week ago today, I joined over 1,100 local citizens in our local No Kings protest. We were just one of over 2,500 peaceful protests held that day, with over 7 million participants nationwide. I had the honor of welcoming my fellow Hautians to that event too. In my brief remarks, I told my fellow peaceful protesters how proud I am to be among them, as I am proud to be among you all today. I also led them in a chant. This evening, we'll be singing, holding hands, and reciting the Debs Credo together again. Let's warm up for that by sharing a loud, cathartic chant together, a chant that I think sums up the moment we find ourselves in. We're going to do this 6 times, starting low and going louder, and it goes like this. Enough is enough. 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 Enough. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Welcome.
I'm going to save the introduction of the head table till after dinner when we fill out a little bit more. But what I would like to do is ask the members of the foundation board who are present to please stand. Be recognized. Good, good. And then I would ask them to remain standing. Sorry, I missed my cadence there. Please rise again. And I would like to ask the rest of the audience to please rise if you're able to with them. And on the front page of your program, at the bottom, you will find the Debs Creed. Let us first take a moment of silence to honor the memory of Eugene Victor Debs. And please join me in reciting the creed. While there is a lower class, I am in it. While there is a criminal element, I am of it. While there is a soul in prison, I am not free. Thank you very much. Please enjoy dinner. can't take the seat. Okay, friends and comrades, as you finish your dessert, I'd like you to enjoy our musical guests tonight, the local Honeys.
Hello. Can you hear me? 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Check, 1, 2.
Now? 1, 2,
hearing
1, 2,
this?
1, 2.
We hearing this?
Not a single head nod. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, you got it. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your participation. Well, we're the local Honeys. We're out of Eastern Kentucky. We're very delighted to be here with y'all tonight. I got a quick chance to meet some folks from the Railroad Workers Union, and this was already in the set list. My dad and my mom were both railroad workers for CSX. My dad was a locomotive engineer for 40 years. And this is a Gene Ritchie song. It's called The L&N Don't Stop Here Anymore. He said, son, you go to school, learn your letters. Don't you be a dusty miner like me. I was born and raised at the mouth of a highest holler, where the coal cars rolled and rumbled by my door. I'm now standing in a rusty row of empties, and the L&N don't stop you no more. Store. Oh, but now he goes downtown with empty pockets, and a face as white as February snow. I was born and raised at the mouth of a highest holler, where the coal cars rolled and rumbled by my door. I'm now standing in a rusty row of empties, and the L&N don't stop here no more. I dreamt last night I went down to the office to get my pages like I've done before. There's kudzu vines have grown up over the window, and there was leaves and grass going right up through the floor. I never thought I'd learn to love that coal dust. I never thought I'd pray for the tipples roll. Oh, how I wish the grass returned to money, and greenbacks fill my pockets once more. I was born and raised at the mouth of the highest holler, where the coal cars rolled and rumbled by my door. I'm now standing in a rusty row of empties, and the L&N don't stop here no more.
Thank you all very much.
He don't like breathing this way, but it's lucky he's breathing it all. 35 years in a methane cave makes your lungs all black and raw. Got a pinch between his cheek and gum, got a pinched nerve in his neck. Rocking back and forth through the shuttle cars, he's rolling towards a nervous wreck. Way down in the hole where he earns his pay, it's dark and unforgiving. Digging this coal, digging his grave, he's dying to make a living. He's dying to make a living. He don't like walking this way, but it's lucky he's walking at all. Doctor said he's 5'8", well he used to stand 6 foot tall. Got a bone from his hip in his lower back, got screws in both his legs. Takes sheep work cause he's gotta have cash, now he's gotta have Percocet. Way down in the hole where he earns his pay, it's dark and unforgiving. Digging this coal, digging his grave, he's dying to make a living. He's dying to make a living. Living this way, but it's lucky he's living it all. 35 years as a black jewel slave, praying that the roof don't fall. Got 2 heavy eyes and 3 slip discs, sleeps with a metal spine. Daydreams fade on the hoot owl shift when you work down in the mines. Way down in the hole where he earns his pay, it's dark and unforgiving. Digging this coal, digging his grave, he's dying to make a living. He's dying to make a living. He's dying, trying to make a living.
Thank you all so very much for having us. This is Montana Hobbs from Lee County, Kentucky on the 5-string banjo for y'all. My name is Linda Jean Stokely. I'm from Woodford County, Kentucky. We are Kentuckians, born and bred, as they say. We are your Commonwealth representatives this evening. We're very proud to be here. This song we're about to play is a song that we've been playing together for almost 15 years now. It's a song that tells the story of one of the largest chemical spills in recorded history. In the year 2000 in Martin County, Kentucky, a sludge pond spill busted and absolutely decimated part of our home. And to put this in perspective, if you don't know what sludge is the byproduct of mining bituminous coal throughout our region. It makes this black tarry substance. People don't know what to do with it. They put them into deep mines and then they exploded. So they had to dam it all up into these man-made lakes and ponds. So when this dam busted, it absolutely eradicated an entire region of eastern Kentucky. To put this in perspective, this spill was 90 times larger than the Exxon Valdez spill that happened off the coast of Alaska in the 90s. It barely made Kentucky news, let alone national attention. The coal company that was responsible for this malpractice at that time was charged $2,500 for absolutely ruining these people's lives. So, this is a song that Montana and I have been singing on every stage and every platform that we can to share the resilience and the humility of the people in Martin County. This is a song that I wrote several years ago, and I think it keeps telling the same story because that happened in the year 2000. It's 25 years later, and these people all across eastern Kentucky do not have access to reliable, clean drinking water. And we're part of this great nation. And there's still pockets of our country that don't have reliable, clean water. And that's not so great. Thank you all so much for listening. We really appreciate you. This is Cigarette Trees.
Top off that sludge pond, run black through our sinks, heavy on the corn when we fill up our drinks. Dig out our coal, turn it into cash, starve out our homelands, but keep your wallets fat. Shake down our houses with your big old drag lines and bury our families deep in the mines. Why not plant cigarette trees? They burn faster than you'd log these. Fill up them valleys, slurry them streams. Big old King Coal, don't you lose any sleep. That big old mountain with your broad form deed. Kill animal and human, ever planting herb. You can't help believe the sky, we can still flip you the bird. What will we do with no mountains to climb? And you disappear when you shut down the mines. Pray God gives you mercy, the place you should dwell. You don't burn like coal when you're sentenced to hell. Why not plant cigarette trees? They burn faster than you'd log these. Fill up them valleys, slurry them streams. Big old King Coal, don't you lose any sleep.
We'd really love
The
it if you
local
all
honeys,
wanna-
let's hear it, yeah.
We would really love it if y'all might want to sing one with us.
That's a song we do every single night, but here's one that we've never done. So this is a first timer for us, but I think everybody in this room probably knows it. And it's also by a fellow Kentuckian, the great Florence Reese.
This is a version we learned from our friends Rich and Beth Kirby. They are activists in our region and phenomenal banjo players. But please sing along.
Dwell. Which side are you on? 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 They say in Harlan County there is no neutral there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
dog, or will you be a man? Which side are you on? 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 We're fighting for our contract, we're fighting to be free. The picket line is a long line, there's room for you and me. Which side are you on? 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 If you don't want to spend your life down in an old coal mine, I'll see you in the morning down on the picket line. Which side are you on? 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 Don't scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. If working folks will stand a chance unless we organize. Which side are you on? 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 Thank y'all. Montana hugs.
Thank you again, very much so. Let me do a quick introduction of the head table, if I can get this right, from left to right. First, I want to introduce Mark Diemenstein, President of the American Postal Workers Union. And tomorrow, we will, at our board meeting, we will nominate Mark to be the new foundation president. Seated next to Mark is last year's Debs awardee, President of the Association of Flight Attendants, Sarah Nelson. I won't skip the next guy. For many of us, a beacon of hope, and somebody who revitalized American politics for all of us, the senator from Vermont, Bernie Sanders. Next, someone who I think for us is extremely important, the Museum of Art Director, the Pride of Marshall, Illinois, Allison Dirk. Yeah. Next to her is Lara Beasley. The longtime former president of both Workers United and of the Debs Foundation, Noel Beasley. And the person who has spent her life putting up with Noel, Lori Beasley. Thank you. We will have an additional guest to introduce when she walks into the room, but for now, I have a very brief, no speeches, but kind of special award honor. I met Noel Beasley in 1977 when we were both young salts in a furniture plant which we successfully organized in eastern Missouri, in Wright City. We spent several years together at what was then Act 2, the Amalgamated Clothing and Textile Workers Union. Our paths diverged, but this place, the Debs Foundation, the Debs Home, is something that's kept us together for the last 4 decades, because it was central to the vision that we had of why we went into organized labor. And Noel, throughout that entire time, as a board member, as the executive vice president, and for the long time president of the foundation, helped to keep this very special place alive that was passed on to us and that we are now passing on to a new generation. So with that, tonight, to honor that service, I want to present on behalf of the Debs Foundation and the board a special tribute, a painting that was done by a local artist here in town. And Noel, if you come up to receive this from me, and I want you to notice, standing with Debs is Noel here in the picture. Thank you, my man. Thanks. Thank you. Having said that, is our presentation speaker here? Yes. Very good. I would like all of you to welcome the individual who will introduce Bernie to us tonight. The Honorable Congresswoman from New York, right? AOC. Thank you, my dear. Let me sit on this side for you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all so much. Wow. What an incredible evening to be here, and what company, huh? Thank you all so much, and it's, of course, so fantastic to be here. Thank you, Dave, for the fantastic introduction. Thank you, Allison, for your wonderful tour earlier today. To be able to tour Debs's home alongside Sarah and Mark earlier today was just so, I mean, it just sent chills down my spine. And of course, my favorite part of this evening is that Bernie's stuck here, so he's gonna have to listen to me say a lot of nice things about him, and he can't leave. But genuinely, it is such an honor to be here today and to be in community with hundreds of people who have been dedicated and are dedicated to keeping the light of class consciousness alive in America. And to keep the light of class struggle alive in America. I think about this so much in the context of keeping our candles lit. My family comes from the tradition of church. My father was Catholic. My mother actually came from an evangelical background. And we often thought about keeping the candle lit, the candle of faith lit. And very often, it just takes one candle in an immense darkness to light the way for others to be able to do the same. And I think about this in the context of Debs and why we're all here today. Debs himself a son of immigrants, a young man cleaning grease off of freight engine trucks, to become one of the most powerful organizers and orators of the class struggle in American history. Kept the light on. And he kept the light on for so many other working people, toiling in anonymity and in pain. And what he did was that he elevated our class consciousness to understand that the indignity that people experience and feel is not necessary, that it has a cause, and because it has a cause, it also has an end. Debs was a foremost leader for social, economic, and racial justice, and he kept and lit that light. And that light of class consciousness that he held eventually shone through years later, after Debs was gone. And it shone through, and the light of that consciousness shone through the window of a rent-controlled apartment into the room of a young man in Brooklyn, the son of Dorothy and Eli, brother to Larry, a working class family making do on a paint salesman's income. Bernie took that class consciousness to the state of Vermont. And he carried that light of Debs and class struggle throughout his entire life, through several political campaigns, starting in the state of Vermont, built on a staunch message and conviction of economic dignity and civil rights for the working class. At first, the first few attempts were unsuccessful, until they were successful. With his historic victory as an independent mayor of Burlington, making his own way, and winning by just a handful of votes as well. How many were they, Bernie? 10. After winning re-election 3 times, he made history again by winning election to the United States House of Representatives, serving there for 16 years. He served there for 16 years before the people of Vermont gave him another promotion and elected him to the United States Senate in 2006. But even in recognizing the enormity of these achievements, it is still easy to take for granted how challenging and lonely that path could be at times. Many of us have seen the footage over many different years, on many different circumstances, of then Representative, now Senator Sanders, standing on the floor of Congress alone, advocating for universal guaranteed health care as a human right alone, fighting for a minimum wage alone, demanding expanded labor rights in this country alone, standing up for marriage equality alone, civil rights alone, racial equality alone, and he did it for all of us for decades. He didn't do it when it was easy. He did it when it was hard. He did it when he had to stand up to the entire political establishment in the United States of America, Republican and Democratic Party alike. When he was first elected to the House of Representatives, they refused to even seat him on a legislating committee for daring to challenge the two-party system in America. But he did it anyway because of that commitment to an idea. The knowledge that we have that the indignity of the suffering of working people is unnecessary and it has an end and it must end. That there is a better day for all of us. When Bernie ran for president in 2016, the entire nation had the opportunity to listen and hear his message for the first time. So many people across this country completely were able to turn around their conception and idea of what America could be. And we started to ask ourselves, why is it that in the wealthiest nation in the history of on earth, that people can't afford their own health care? That education must be something that we go into massive amounts of debt to accomplish and achieve? That we must somehow earn and toil just to keep a roof over our heads? It was the first time that millions of people heard that healthcare should be guaranteed to us as a human right, a birthright of our dignity as human beings. That education should not be a form of modern day indentured servitude to debt holders. That we as working people deserve dignity just by the fact that we are alive. It was the first time that many people had heard something like that. And it was the first time that I had heard something like that. I remember this, wiping down a wood bar in downtown New York City, shoulder to shoulder with immigrant line cooks and other kids like me who were in this position because they had a parent pass away at a young age. And so many of us who had resigned ourselves to the idea that our future was already predetermined, that the book was already written for us, decided and realized by hearing the voice of this man right here that the future is not already predetermined, that we can change it and we can put power into our own hands. I know at that time, like millions of other people in this country, there were times that I would walk home at night and turn on the light to my apartment and nothing turned on. Where you'd open the refrigerator and there was little to nothing to eat. And that was what so many people have accepted as our lot. But it is the moment when we hear someone keep that light on, that we are able to light ours and realize that we do not lack these things out of a lack of self-worth because we don't deserve them. We lack these things because we live in an unjust system that must be changed. Especially in this moment, here and now, when we are in another dark chapter of this country, we must remember that America has always been the site of a struggle of ideas, always, between subjects and citizens, the Confederacy and the Union, labor and capital. It has always been that site. And it has always been the solidarity of working people that has allowed us to progress and prevail, and today is no different. When I think about the authoritarian that we have in Donald Trump in that White House today, tearing down the people's house, not something that belongs to him, but something that belongs to us, tearing that down, it's important that we remember that America is not determined by a despot that lives in a house built by slaves, but it is determined by the cities built by freemen, by unionists, by immigrants, by working people across this country. And we do that by rejecting the fatalist notion that how things are today is not how they will always be, and we must embrace the raw power of class solidarity that transcends difference of geography, identity, religion, race, and creed. I thank you all so much. And I'm so grateful that we get to have Bernie Sanders, that we get to honor him as he has lit that light for millions of people across this country. And tomorrow we will light it in New York City to help elect the first socialist mayor in 30 years, Zohran Mamdani. From the Senate to the House to the mayoral seat of the largest and greatest city America has to offer. We keep the light on, we light it for others. I thank you all so much, and onward to another day.
Bernie, this one's for you.
What can I say? I have a personality quirk that doesn't do well when people say very nice things about me. Alexandria, thank you very much. And I want to say that, as some of you may know, I've traveled around the country with Alexandria. And what is incredibly moving is how she has inspired millions and millions of young people. Alexandria has not forgotten where she came from and is one of the outstanding members of the United States Congress, and I thank her very much. I want to thank, we're very lucky tonight because we have Sarah Nelson and Mark Dimmonstein here as well. Two great leaders of the American trade union movement. I thank you both for what you've done. And let me thank the Debs Foundation. In my opinion, Eugene Victor Debs is one of the great figures in American history. And he has inspired me, and I know Alexandria and Sarah and everybody, Mark, and I think many of us who are here tonight. And it is so important, and I thank the foundation for what they're doing to keep Debs's dream, to keep his achievements, to keep his vision alive. So thank you very much for that. In the late 1970s, I was invited to speak to a class at the University of Vermont. And in the course of my discussion with the students, I asked, how many of you have heard of Eugene V. Debs? And very few hands went up. And that upset me. And at that point, I was the head of a very small nonprofit media company called the American People's Historical Society. And what I noticed at the University of Vermont, I was sure was true all over this country. that we have a man who lived an extraordinary life with enormous accomplishments, with an incredible vision for where this country should go. And the overwhelming majority of the American people had not heard of him. And by the way, as everybody here knows, those things do not happen by accident. Debs frightened the ruling class when he was alive, and his ideas still frighten the ruling class. So my first visit to Terre Haute with my little camera was to go to the Debs Museum, take all kinds of pictures, and do a video of him. So there are a number of people who think Debs had a very strong Brooklyn accent. And I apologize to the people of Indiana for that. And when I was here in Terre Haute, it was really interesting. There was a gentleman there whose name people here will know, I don't recall it, wasn't Allison by any means. And he said, look, while you're here in Terre Haute, I want to take you to the Indiana State basketball arena. And he took beautiful arena. He said, you know, we got a young ball player named Larry Bird. You haven't heard of Bird? Well, so that was my first introduction to Bird. So why was Eugene V. Debs one of the extraordinary figures in American history? Well, he was a great man because he was a kind and loving human being. And one of the things I've always remembered reading about Debs, and I'm sure everybody here is familiar with this, when he was arrested and sent to jail for his opposition to World War I, and he ended up in the Atlanta Federal Penitentiary, where I presumed a lot of hardened criminals, and he was there for, I think, almost 3 years. And as many of you will recall, when he was let out, he was pardoned by Harding, and he walks out, and then, according to the descriptions, the inmates start banging on the walls and on the bars and screaming. And you stop and you think, how could it be that one man could arouse such emotion and love from hardened criminals? And that speaks to the kind of human being that he was. As Allison was explaining to me earlier today when we went to the museum, he spent his time not just running for president while in jail, that's quite something, but he was also working with the prisoners, and he got to know them. But it is extraordinary to me to imagine that one person in his 60s, whatever, could bring about that love and affection from hardened criminals. But that was consistent with who he was as a human being. People talked about Debs as being the kind of guy who would take the shirt off of his back and give it to a stranger. Debs was obviously a great man because he was one of the outstanding trade union movement leaders in American history. He organized workers and he put together the American Railway Union. And he played an active role in moving craft unions into industrial unions. And during Debs's time, racism was absolutely rampant in our country and in the socialist movement. It was there. Debs was decades ahead of his time in fighting racism and breaking down color barriers. And as everybody here knows, Debs kind of forced the entire country to stand up for workers during the Pullman strike of 1894, which got him in jail, where he got his most important education. Debs was a great man because of his political activity, he helped organize the Socialist Party, and he gave working people an alternative to a political system in which both major parties were dominated by big money and the greed of corporate interests. And let us not forget, and I think he gets no credit for this, that 6 years after Debs died in 1926, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was elected president. Yes. And if anybody here thinks that Roosevelt's agenda was not impacted by Debs, you would be sorely mistaken. All of those achievements were unbelievably important and had enormous ramifications in the development of our country. But let me tell you, in my view, what Debs did and achieved that was even more important. And that is, throughout his career and his 5 campaigns for president, he not only educated and explained to the American working class the nature of American capitalism, but he provided an alternative vision to a society based on lies, greed, war, bigotry, and exploitation. And as Alexandria just mentioned, Debs envisioned a very different world than the one he was living in, and he challenged his supporters to fight for that world. Let me just take a moment to review some of the remarkable insights that Debs had over 100 years ago, insights which are absolutely as relevant today as they were when he was alive. Here's what Eugene Victor Debs said, quote, "I am opposing a social order in which it is possible for one man who does absolutely nothing that is useful to amass a fortune of hundreds of millions of dollars, while millions of men and women who work all the days of their lives secure barely enough for a wretched existence." Debs said that over 100 years ago. And the only thing that has changed is that instead of people on the top being worth hundreds of millions, they are now worth hundreds of billions. So what Debs did is he put it on the table and he asked questions of his time that was unique, opened up people's eyes, questions that we have a very hard time getting discussed today. Alexandria and I and Sarah and Mark been in 1 million TV interviews. Not one time has any TV interviewer said, "Bernie, what are you going to do about this grotesque level of income and wealth inequality?" It is not discussed unless we force that discussion. Today in America, and again, the outrage, where is the outrage? One person, Mr. Musk, owns more wealth than the bottom 52% of American households. You got that? That's what Debs talked about then. And it's perhaps worse now. You got the top 1% owning more wealth than the bottom 93%. And when Debs talked about millions of men and women who work all the days of their lives, securing barely enough for a wretched existence, what do you think is going on today? Sarah was just describing, we were in Alabama recently. She's got prisoners working for 25 cents an hour, making corporations rich. in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. Alexandria grew up in a family like that, so did I. So did many of you. And Debs raised the moral issue. Is it appropriate that so few have so much while so many have so little? And Debs was right then, and his idea and his belief is certainly true today. And then Debs said this, he said, quote, "In every age, it has been the tyrant, the oppressor, and the exploiter who has wrapped himself in the cloak of patriotism or religion or both to deceive and overawe the people." So under Donald Trump, we have an America First, which gives tax breaks, $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1%, which denies trying to throw 15 million people off the health care they have, trying to double the premiums you are paying in the Affordable Care Act. But we're not supposed to deal with that. We're supposed to worry about the undocumented people in this country. The vast majority of them work day and night to try to feed their families. Same business. Wrap yourself around the flag, exploit working people, and give tax breaks to the billionaires. That's his succinct description. Kind of make the point. And Debs said, quote, "I have no country to fight for. My country is the earth. I'm a citizen of the world." And he said that in the middle of the barbarism of World War I. You know, when I was a kid in school, and all of you, we studied World War I. I'll be damned if I know what that war was about. Certainly wasn't what my teacher said it was about. You're not fighting for freedom, and they were fighting with the Tsar of Russia on your side. And it goes on and on. Right now, hundreds of thousands of young Russians have been used as cannon fodder for Putin and his friends while they destroy Ukraine. Right now, the Netanyahu government is starving and destroying the people in Gaza. Right now, you got Trump, apparently he's kind of bored, trying to get another war going in Latin America. I don't know. All right. This is the year 2025. And what Debs told us over 100 years ago, we do not need young people in one country killing young people in another country to enrich the people on top. Debs said, and I quote, this is maybe one of the most famous speeches that he gets. Here he is going to go before the judge. He's going to be sentenced for trying to get young people not to participate in a barbaric war. And this is what he says. He says, quote, "Your Honor, years ago I recognized my kinship with all living beings, and I made up my mind that I was not one bit better than the meanest on earth. I said then, and I say now, that while there is a lower class, I am in it, and while there is a criminal element, I am of it, and while there is a soul in prison, I am not free." What Debs was talking about is what Alexandria was just talking about, is the whole concept of human solidarity. Not only trade union solidarity, but human solidarity, whether you're black or you're white, or you're Latino, you're Asian, you're gay, whatever you may be. We are all human beings. And think of the world that we can create if we worked together, rather than just live the Trump world of trying to exploit everybody else, getting us to hate everybody else, allowing people to lie, steal, and cheat so they become billionaires. We are nowhere near that right now. Debs talked about it 100 years ago. But think what we could create if we worked together, and that was Debs. And Debs said this also, another quote which I think is very profound, and again, something we do not talk about. Quote, "As long as he owns your tools, he owns your job. And if he owns your job, he is the master of your fate. You are in no sense a free man. You are subject to his interest and to his will. He decides whether you shall work or not. Therefore, he decides whether you shall live or die. And in that humiliating position, anyone who tries to persuade you that you are a free man is guilty of insulting your intelligence." So what was Debs? Let me put what Debs was saying in the context of 2025. And what power. Debs is talking about the power that big money has over everybody's life. They want to move your job to China. You worked at a company for 30 years. Tough luck. They want to fire you for whatever reason. You're trying to organize a union. Tough luck. Your kid is sick and you want to take care of that child. You don't get to work. You're fired. And right now, in a way that should get everybody very nervous, you got the wealthiest people on earth, people like Mr. Musk and Mr. Bezos and Mr. Ellison and Mr. Altman. They are investing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars into artificial intelligence and robotics. They are shaping the future of not only the United States, but of humanity in general. What they are doing with without the approval of anybody is transforming our economy, not only economically, in terms of millions of workers losing their jobs as a result of AI and robotics, but even how we relate to each other as human beings. There are kids now walking around with things around their neck who is now their best friend. A chat box creature is now their best friend. Anybody in this room give Mr. Musk approval to do that? I don't think so. But this is what Debs was talking about. They have the wealth, they have the power. And our job together is to tell them that this country, this world, does not just belong to them. And by the way, these guys literally now are beginning to talk about their God-given rights. I'm not being rhetorical here. Their God-given right to do whatever they want. And if you oppose them, you want to regulate them, you want to hold these high-tech guys accountable, literally, according to one of them, you are an antichrist. True. And that's what Debs was talking about 100 years ago. Debs wrote, "To stir the masses, to appeal to their higher, better selves, to set them thinking for themselves, and to hold ever before them the ideal of mutual kindness and goodwill based upon mutual interests is to render real service to the cause of humanity. So he is talking about the most fundamental issues. What is human life about? What do we want to be? Who are we? Are we supposed to go around hating each other or loving each other? Are we supposed to work together or work against each other? And finally, he said something which was extraordinarily profound, and we used it, in a sense, in our presidential campaign. And he said, quote, I'm sure many of you are familiar with this, he said, "I am not a labor leader. I do not want you to follow me or anyone else. If you are looking for a Moses to lead you out of this capitalist wilderness, you will stay right where you are. I would not lead you into the promised land if I could, because if I led you in, someone else would lead you out." You, the American people, must use your heads as well as your hands and get yourself out of your present condition, as it is now the capitalists use your heads and your hands. And this is an extraordinary statement, because what he was saying, you go on media and you go in Washington in the Beltway, oh, the leader here and who's the leader there and who's running for president, all that stuff. All right, what he is saying is it's not the leader. Don't worry about the leader. It is ordinary people standing up together, demanding a better world, and the leaders will come from that. So let me conclude by suggesting what all of you know, especially in this extremely difficult moment in American history, and that is what Debs talked about 100+ years ago was not only right and perceptive then, it is right and perceptive today. So don't look at Gene Debs as some kind of historical figure. Look at him as somebody who is motivating us today to bring the people of our country together, to bring the people of the world together, so that we address climate change, so we address the horrors of war, so that instead of spending $1 trillion on the military, we feed our kids and educate our kids and provide health care to all. So Debs may have died. Debs may have died, I guess it was 99 years ago. But his vision, his analyses remain absolutely vital. Our job is to understand what he tried to do and take his message forward. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
The Debs Foundation has, for a long time, waited for this moment to give this award to this person, and welcome home, Bernie. Please watch it. I would now like to call not only one of the best labor leaders in the country to the podium, but also someone who actually has a beautiful voice. I want you to turn to the inside of your program, the last page, the closing song. We always end our event with Solidarity Forever. Sarah Nelson.
I have to just start by recognizing that we hear about the rich and powerful, but actually They don't have any power. They have money and they have control, but if we recognize the power that we have together, we take back the control and take back our money. Eugene V. Debs said the working class must be emancipated by the working class. And Bernie Sanders has done more to wake workers to our power than any leader since Debs. Debs, who called worker solidarity the sunrise of civilization. And indeed, solidarity is a force stronger than gravity. And the rise of the working class comes from the clarion call, not me, us. So you have your verses, but to start out for our railroad workers, I gotta start with this one. It is we who plowed the prairies, built the cities where they trade, dug the mines and built the workshops, endless miles of railroad laid. Now we stand outcast and starving midst the wonders we have made. But the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? For the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. They have taken untold millions that they never toiled to earn, but without our brain and muscle, not a single wheel can turn. We can break their haughty power, gain the freedom, then we learn that the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. In our hands is placed a power greater than their hoarded gold, greater than the might of armies magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring the earth a new world, the ashes of the old, for the union makes us strong. Last one! Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. Thank you, Bernie. Thank you, Alexandria. Thank you, Debs Foundation. Solidarity forever.
Thanks very much. Send her up the stage first or what? Okay. What?
Whatever.
Yeah, yeah.